We know we are live. There we go. All right, everybody. So we are now live on YouTube. We're going to pick up right where we left off last week. We had covered some for sale by owners and how to win those listings by using direct mail and some other strategies to market to those, including Facebook advertising with that data set. And also, direct mail, calling those leads, working those contacts to your guys' fullest potential. Now, today we're going to talk about something that is extremely important to, I believe, every agent, and it is going to be about winning listings through home valuation ads. And this is actually something we're doing with Merlene right now. She's on the call. Merlene had a ton of leads that she had from about 6 months to a year ago that were from home valuation ads that she was running on Facebook. And so we took those leads that she had that were essentially dead, cold leads, and Merlene started sending direct mailers out to those folks, woke them up, and ended up winning. How many listings, Merlene? Was it 3 or 4 now?
So far 3. And today I have a phone call for a presentation for tomorrow. Same leads.
Awesome.
Yep, I got the phone call today, and I'm meeting with her tomorrow.
I love it.
Yeah. Now, so far I got 3.
Definitely. So this is sticking to that subject that we like to put things out there that have been tested and are tried and true for our agents. For those of you that don't know, I'm an ex-Zillow employee. And while I was at Zillow, one of the projects that I was working on, we were selling Trulia home valuation ads to agents. So you guys were picking up leads from Zillow and Trulia. There were folks that filled out their information requesting a home valuation. Just about every agent that I work with talked to us about how poor the quality of those leads were and that they didn't have much success with them. So we started digging into their follow-up methods on those leads. What we found is that most agents would call 2 or 3 times and then deem it a bad lead and move on. But as we continued to track the data, we found that 6 out of 10 of those folks that submitted their info for a home valuation request ended up listing their property inside of a 12-month window. So we ended up working with a handful of agents and put together some strategies that helped them cross the finish line. One of our agents went and actually took gift baskets to the doorsteps of these home valuation leads when they'd submit a request for a home valuation. Very soft approach, give them a gift basket, have a conversation with them about when they're looking to move, what their goals are, all of those good things. And then when the time came, they were able to work with that particular seller and list their home. And so one of the things that I'm recommending here with any kind of a home valuation ad, because we've seen that statistic coming from Zillow, right? There's 300 million unique users every single month on their website. I think it's safe to say they have more data than any other internet-based real estate company out there in this industry. And so when we look at that selling cycle, those folks that are submitting their home valuation requests, they're actually listing their homes 6 out of 10 times inside of 1 year. That tells us that we really need to make sure that our follow-up game is on point when we are getting a home valuation request from a potential seller. So to make things easy, I'm just going to break down home valuation ads can be the lifeblood of leads for a listing agent. The sales cycle with this typical lead generation is roughly 6 months to a year. Just know that if you need a listing tomorrow, there's no magic wand to get you one right now. It takes time to market and cultivate these leads. So a big thing, I don't want anybody on this call to think that they're going to go and run a home valuation ad and win a listing tomorrow. Of course, that can happen, but statistically, you're going to be looking at 6 months to a year to really start having that pipeline begin to burst and start building those listings up the same way that Merlene saw it, where her leads from 6 months to a year ago, she's now mailing those. And now she's winning listing after listing after listing. She's on her 4th appointment now. She's won 3. So that just shows the consistency of this. If you continue to follow up with these home valuation leads, you have an awesome opportunity to convert and cultivate them. Just don't expect it to come tomorrow, because that listing more than likely will take some time. Now, when you're running these ads on Facebook, and Merlene, I got an example from you. When running these ads on Facebook, keep the ad extremely simple. So you can see here, we've got a post on here that just says, what's your home really worth, with a question mark and a home emoji. we've taken an outline of Long Island, which is where Merlene works, and we've gone ahead and we've searched in Zillow and taken a screenshot of that from Zillow with the red dots of properties that are listed for sale. Had click here for more info. Recent home values have affected your home's price. Learn more. So on these, we ran about $10 cost per lead. It was $70 total spent. And there were 7 total, 8 actually, including myself as a test lead on this, but 7 total leads submitted their information. And now we're doing an additional test run on this. So once that lead goes ahead and clicks on this particular ad here, it's going to drive them to a home valuation landing page. So if you are a Leads to ROI client, you guys have access to this landing page through your listing. So leads access. If not, and you're with EXP, you can use the home valuation tool that's in KV Core. Or we also have some secondary landing pages for this as well that do things like pull Google APIs and complete addresses, pull images of the house, all of those cool things as well. So we've got different options for you guys if you need a home valuation landing page to be able to be used on these ads. Now, it's important that it's very simple. On a funnel, you don't want anywhere that person can click outside of what you want them to click on in that particular funnel. So you can see on this page, there's no other buttons. There's no menu to go and search for properties or listings or anything along those lines. It's just an image in the background, a box in the center, asking them to enter their address so they can get a home valuation. Once they've submitted their address info, you guys, there's a couple of settings that you can do in listings to leads. And Merlene, I just got you set up for this for the next run, where you can make sure that the name, the phone number are also mandatory. So email is automatically going to be required on this for them to fill out and complete the form. But now you can also add it in so you can get name, phone, and email out of that. So you have more opportunities to follow up with those leads. Now, when it comes to a long-term follow-up strategy with sellers, it's important to make sure that your campaigns are long. Again, these are 6 months to a year sales cycle. So I'd actually recommend even going out 1.5 to 2 years on these follow-up campaigns, or restarting that follow-up campaign after that 1 year mark if you don't have time to write a full year campaign. We've got a couple that you can use though, so we make life easy. But you want to make sure that you've got an email campaign that's 1 year long at a minimum for any of these folks that submit a home valuation request on your landing page. We also want to make sure that we have a text campaign that's 1 year long minimum. And that doesn't mean you're sending them a text message and an email every single day. We want to hit them fast and hard out of the first couple of weeks and get the opportunity to get that conversation sparked up. And then if we don't have any conversation that's sparked up, we just slowly trickle off on our follow-up. And so that text message may go to a couple of days after the first couple of weeks. Then it may go to once a week, then once a month. Emails can do the same. We typically send once a week in those emails though, so we can get some good updates. And we've got a good campaign that really helps a seller get ready to get their home on the market by giving them just a ton of tips and tricks so that they can get the most value out of their home when it's time to sell. Also, I recommend making a minimum of 6 call attempts in the first 2 weeks. You guys have done a ton of trainings on this. Harvard Business Review did a study, so did MIT. And essentially what we're looking at is if we do 6 call attempts to a lead, we have a 90% likelihood of them answering the phone and having a conversation with them. So extremely important, you guys, make sure you put those 6 contact attempts in within the first 2 weeks. And then I'd recommend doing a monthly follow-up call for at least 1 year. And then you guys, this is the really, really important part. This is, if you were to do any of these things, I would definitely put calling right up there with this, but putting a postcard in their mailbox after they've submitted their information to you is extremely powerful. Just as we found with Merlene, she won 3 or 4 listings. She's got her 4th listing appointment that's coming up. And that wasn't from calling, that wasn't from emailing or texting, that was from sending postcards. So send a postcard, 1 every month for a minimum of a year. You guys, I'm providing you guys with some examples of some cards here. So home values have increased in the last 6 months. What do you think buyers would pay today for your home? You can have these QR codes embedded into these so that it'll go directly to a landing page for a home valuation request. Again, you can see here homes. So first name, would you like to find out how much homes sold for near you? So this is going to show them a list of the most recently sold properties. Yes.
Excuse me, Brian. Are you sharing anything or not?
Oh, did my screen share stop?
I don't think you ever started it.
No way. Okay. Weird. I clicked the button. Anyways, you guys, thanks for following along. With postcard mailers, here's what we're looking at essentially. And I'm going to actually go back up now since I know that. So for your guys' home valuation ads, again, keep them super simple. I want you guys to be able to see what the imagery looks like on this. This is a screenshot from Zillow. We just went in and typed in Long Island and had all of these homes for sale that populated and then took a screenshot of that. Facebook likes these to be 1200 by 628 pixels. That's like the perfect size for a Facebook ad. So I use a tool called Lightshot, which allows me to, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's this little tool right here, and it allows me to count the pixels when I am taking a screenshot. So I'll go into Zillow or Realtor.com, and I'll take that screenshot 1200 by 628 pixels. So it's 1200 across, 628 up and down. And then I can get the perfect image size for Facebook right there. So again, you guys, Realtor.com, Zillow.com, both of them really good sites to use to go in and pull the map for your ad. And we found that maps give you a much lower cost per lead, cost per sign up, than if you were to post a picture of a house with a sold sign on it. Don't ask me why. It just works. And this is getting better performance. So this is what a basic home valuation landing page should look like right here. Just one text box in the center. Go ahead and get market analysis. And then the secondary landing page, we want to make sure that we have this additional information when we're getting name, email, and phone. Then of course your guys' follow-up and the postcards. So back to the postcards. These postcards you guys are going to be mailing out. These are just some examples from the Ninja, Kelly Wheeler, that he gave to us to utilize for you guys. So you can take a look at just some different examples and options that you can use. But this one is home values have increased in the last 6 months. What do you think buyers would pay today for your home? So this QR code is going to lead them back to this home valuation landing page so that we can catch their attention again. Next thing that you can see, would you like to find out how much homes sold for near you? So this is going to give a list of properties. You would essentially direct them to a place where you can provide them with a list of recently sold properties. And of course, those homes that just sold are going to affect the value of that homeowner. So it's really cool to be able to showcase this and put that in front of your guys' potential listings. This one, home values have shot up in the last 6 months. Find out what homes are selling for before you decide to list. Scan me, get an instant home evaluation. That's awesome. Next one that's on here is I have buyers looking for a home in your neighborhood. Have you thought about selling your home? Please call or text your info for more information. The next one, the housing market is on fire. I would love to net you more money and remove the stress of selling. All right, so another great message. Are you thinking of selling your home in the next 12 months? And then benefits specifically for you to use their name. And then here's some benefits that are on this card campaign. This one is actually right here. I'm going to see if I can zoom in on my screen and get this a little bit bigger for you guys. All right, so the benefits here. Sale, if you find the buyer, you pay me nothing. If I find the buyer, you save thousands. No long-term listing agreement with me. I have an insane marketing strategy. I have access to hundreds of qualified buyers. I provide free moving boxes, and I will have your home cleaned when you move out. Right. So these are Kelly Wheeler's specific, unique selling propositions that he puts out there. So if they bring the buyer to their own home, he doesn't charge them a commission. If he finds the buyer, he saves them money because instead of doing a 6%, he just runs 3% on that commission and saves them a ton of money. So of course, these are things that you guys don't have to do right now. And I'd actually recommend against these because I like for our agents to make their commissions. but these are unique selling propositions that Kelly's currently leveraging right now. And I can tell you guys, he's not losing any commission on these. He's wording it, writing up the contracts so that there's certain metrics that have to be met in order for him to give up that commission. And in most cases, almost every case, he hasn't lost any of his commission on these. It's just a unique selling proposition. Get his foot in the door, get the contract signed. But of course, he will stick to those if all of those particular conditions are met. Now, a couple of things with this, letting him know that you have an insane marketing strategy. I think that is all fine and dandy, but every agent under the sun is going to be saying that. So what I'd recommend in these postcards is find a way to make yourself different from your competition and stand out. So Kelly doing this offer for if you find the buyer, you pay me nothing. And if I find the buyer, you save thousands. Those are two really big, unique selling propositions right out of the gate. They're going to do one thing for that homeowner. It's going to save them money. So it's going to make them want to reach out to Kelly so they can get that conversation started. Now, I want to show you guys a couple of different ways to kick these ads off, whether you are doing that inside of Facebook or whether you are doing that with listings to leads. So give me just a second. I'm going to go ahead and start with listings to leads and show you guys just how simple it is to run one of these ads. And I've got to start one for Merlene anyway. So let's go ahead and just run another ad for Merlene really fast and get this running while we've got everybody in chat. And yes, Lightshot was the name of that app that I used to take screenshots. It also gives you a couple of additional tools too, like you can do red boxes around things. You can have arrows point or underline or change the color of any of those. So there's a lot of really cool things that you can do with Lightshot that goes above and beyond what you can do with the regular snipping tool in Windows. What's your screenshot tool in Mac? I don't even know, because you're a Mac user.
Well, I can use Command Shift and the number 4, and it will let me select and draw whatever area that I want for a screenshot. And then I think it's Command Shift F4 gets the whole screen. But what you said was certain pixels, and I don't have that ability to do something for a specific pixel.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. So Lightshot is going to be good for you for that. But it sounds like all the other stuff that you can already do on Mac is part of Lightshot. So it should be quick for you to pick it up. All right, you guys. So we're going to go ahead and jump into ads and listings to leads. We're going to go ahead and create a landing page ad. Now you can see when we click create landing page ad, the first landing page that's available is a free home values. Now, I do not like sending home valuation ads to a lead form on Facebook. About six or 8 months ago, might have been a year now. Time's flying. Facebook made a change, and they no longer accept addresses. So I cannot collect somebody's home address in a Facebook lead form. And if you try to if you attempt to obtain that address, so if you make your own custom field and you try to be sly around it, Facebook will just ban your account. So I don't like running lead ads for home values, because the most important piece of information for us to gather for that home valuation is going to be the address of the property. If I get a home address, I have several different ways that I can go and look up the owner of that home and find their information so I can get it loaded into my database. And then I can send postcards out to them either way, because now I've got their name, I've got their email, I've got their phone number. So one thing I use is Remind, super simple, but you guys should all be able to have access. Go look up property, find out who the actual owner is, add the name in on that home, and then go ahead and do your diligence and send out some mailers. So on these, I always select traffic ads, because once you send them to a website, you can collect their home address and you don't have to worry about getting in trouble by Facebook. So all we have to do here is click create ad. Once we've made that selection, we're going to go ahead and add in a location on this. And then we're going to go ahead and change up some of the ad itself. So the first thing I'm actually going to change is going to be the image. And you can see we've already got the map screenshot here. So we're just going to go ahead and use that same image that we used last time. And we had really good cost per contact. So we're going to use the same ad copy that we did on the previous side as well. Let's go ahead and open up some additional options. Let's scroll down. So we're going to go ahead and paste in the what's your home really worth from the last ad. And this one says, what's your home worth now? I'm going to go ahead and let's do this. So we're going to use the same copy before, or we're going to use the original copy of what's your home worth now. And I'm just going to add this little arrow here. And then we're going to leave the description. So at this point in time, what this is going to do is it's going to point anybody that fills out or clicks on this directly to that home valuation website. Now we can go ahead and add things like interests in here and try to do our best to find folks that are looking to sell a home. But the thing is, Facebook is already recognizing that this is a special ads category. So unless we have a massive pool of homeowner data that we can go ahead and plug into Facebook, our best bet at this point in time is going to be to let Facebook pinpoint the ideal people to put this ad in front of. And you guys, if you've ever wondered how much information Facebook has on you, they typically know what you're going to do before you do it. So everywhere that you've ever gone, everything that you've ever searched for, they've got a pretty good idea of every little one of those things that you've done. They know what you're going to do before you are. Their detailed targeting is absolutely phenomenal. What was the name of the city that we like to target here when we're running this, Marlene? It was Suffolk County, right?
Yes, Suffolk. Was it the whole country? Yeah, Suffolk.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and just add Suffolk County. I'm going to do a lifetime budget on this of, let's just do $100 and let's do this over a longer period of time.
Yeah.
So I'm actually, would you mind if I did $200 on this and did it for a full month?
No, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. Let's go 200 on that for a lifetime budget and get this thing live. So you guys, that's it in listings to leads. You're going to select your location. You're going to you're going to make some updates and some adjustments to some ad copy, the primary text, the headline. If you choose to, you can change the description if you want, maybe edit the image, but the ad's ready to rock. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit publish, and this ad's going to go live within the next couple of minutes. And Merlene should have another home valuation request that should be coming in on her account within the next day or two. Should automatically be pulling in. So you guys can see on this last one, we had 56 total link clicks from that. It was $1.27 per click. 71.11 was spent on this. And if we go into leads, all of these leads that are right here up to Bryan, you guys can see these are all the free home value leads. So that's where those 7 came from. I was telling you about, we're at about $10 cost per lead for home valuations, which is pretty low cost. And then if we continue to market to those folks with direct mail, calls, texts, emails, we're going to have a really good opportunity to list with these folks when they're ready to sell their home 6 months to a year down the road. Now, that's one way to do it through listings to leads. I want to take a moment and show you guys inside of Facebook how to go ahead and do this as well. And it's a little bit longer process in Facebook than what you are looking at in listings to leads. I'm going to forewarn you guys. There's a couple steps that you want to make sure that you do not miss in this. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a lead generation ad and go ahead and click the drop down here. And I'm just going to say home valuation test. Go ahead and copy this, paste it in all the way down. Continue. I like all my names to match. That way, if I'm going through the tabs, I know exactly what ad I'm looking at. Most important thing that you guys need to do on this special ad category. So you can see here that this is for anything that's credit, employment, housing, or social issues, which is going to include elections or politics. We need to make sure that we've selected a special ad category. So what this essentially means for us is that anytime we run an ad, we have to select housing, whether it's a community video, anything along those lines, even if it's not related to real estate and you're giving a shout out to a local business so that you can build your brand, we still have to select housing because the page is a real estate page, And if we do not select housing, Facebook can ban our entire account for that. So don't get banned. Make sure that you are selecting housing for the special ad category when you guys are setting these up. Next page we're going to move into. We're simply going to make a couple of selections here. We're going to choose our daily budget or a lifetime budget. Now, you guys, if you are setting an ad that you're going to run for a very, very long time, let's say you go, hey, you know what? I'm going to run this ad and I'm going to keep this thing running for 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 months, maybe even a year. Do daily budgets on those, you guys. If you're looking to do something that's short term, you want to run a 1 or 2 week ad, that's where you guys are going to want to run lifetime budgets. So if you're doing something that's long term, daily budgets are going to get you the best performance. If you're doing something that's short term, your actual total lifetime budget is going to get you the best results, because Facebook's algorithm is going to tell them exactly when they need to spend the money. Place your ad out in front of those potential buyers or sellers so that they'll actually click and fill out their information. So again, you guys, daily budgets long-term, lifetime budgets short-term. Anything inside of a month, keep it to your guys' lifetime budget. Would you agree with that, William?
Absolutely. And I also wanted to mention, I said it in the chat, but anyone who has signed up with our Leads to ROI program, all you have to do is just take the L2L ad build survey that's in the bottom left of our CRM, and we'll just build out the ad for you. Okay, so that goes directly to our team. I also made the survey a lot simpler. Okay, so it isn't a very long-winded survey anymore. Okay. You're muted, Brian. And one other thing that I was just noticing in your account is that the ad that Brian had ran for you, the actual cost per click is only $1.27. So we've had 56 total link clicks off of that as well. So that's pretty good.
That's good.
Yeah, definitely. We were looking at Marlene here. Yeah, no, she was rock and rolling there. 127 per click.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, and it's the simplicity of running the ad with a map image, having the dots for the active listings. For some reason, those are the kinds of things that really catch people's eye and get them to start filling out the forms. So once you guys go ahead and determine whether you're doing a daily or a lifetime budget, go ahead and select the amount that you're comfortable with spending. I recommend daily budgets. If you're doing daily, keep those budgets at $10 a day or higher in most markets. And again, this is going to boil down to the number of ads that are running in your current marketplace. So facebook.com/ads/library. This is a great way to spy on your guys' competitors and find out exactly what they are doing. So if you were to go in, you wanted to find out how many housing ads were ran in a specific area, you can just go ahead and type in a city. It will pull up, and Facebook is going to tell you how many ads are currently running in that particular city. So you can see Chattanooga, Tennessee, we've got 790 results for real estate ads that are currently running. So anything that's under 3,000 ads or 3,000 results in your marketplace, that's where I'd recommend spending that $10 a day. If you guys are over 3,000, that's when you're going to want to look at 15 to 20 bucks a day in advertising spend for your ads. It's just going to boil down to the competition within your marketplace. So keep that in mind. All right. Now with these special ad audiences, you can't make any changes to gender or age, anything along those lines. And you also have to have a minimum of a 15-mile radius on your search. So the next thing we want to do, even though we can't edit age or gender, we want to edit the location of where this ad is going to be placed. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Seattle because I'm doing this as a test. So let's just say we're focusing on Seattle, Washington. Now, you guys always want to take a look at your pins and where they're dropped. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that if I was this real estate agent and I started getting leads from over in Bremerton and Poolsbo and Silverdale and all these places that are out here on the peninsula away from Seattle, I'm gonna have to take a 30 to 45-minute ferry ride just to get to any of those places. And that's going to drive me nuts. That's going to be a lot of wasted ad dollars. So what I'd recommend is taking your pin and then going ahead and finding a place where you can move it that's going to encompass the location that you want to market to, and delete that original pin. So that way you're not cultivating leads from areas that are too far outside of your targeted zone that you don't
Or
want to go and
refer 'em
market
out.
to. What was that?
I said either that or refer them out if you do.
Yeah.
Yes, you definitely can refer them out. Absolutely.
Make money, no
Great
work.
point.
Good.
Absolutely, absolutely. But if you're generating these leads for yourself, you're not looking to refer the business, you're looking to obtain it for yourself. I'd recommend taking a look at these pins if you're building it, and make sure that audience and everywhere that you're encompassing falls within areas that you want to be within. Now, in this particular 15-mile radius, the crazy thing is during rush hour, to get from down here in Renton up to Bothell can take you 3 hours some days. So make sure that you keep all that stuff in mind when you're picking your locations and your audiences. Next thing that you guys can do, if you have custom audiences that are loaded into your accounts, you can use those. Now, that's going to be if you were to go to, say, Remine and pull a list of homeowners, or if you're using from PropStream, or you met with your local title company and you got a CSV file from them with a list of homeowners in specific neighborhoods, you can upload those lists directly into Facebook. And we've done several trainings where we show you guys how to do that. But keep in mind, if you're running a custom audience, your cost to that audience is going to be a higher cost than if you were to just run that ad directly to Facebook's detailed targeting. So the larger your list is, the lower your cost is going to be. So put things into perspective. If your list is 1,000 people, that's the minimum Facebook allows you to plug in. You're probably going to be looking at $100 to $200 cost per market to target that list. And cost per market is 1,000 impressions on Facebook. You used to be able to get an impression on Facebook for under a penny. But those costs are definitely increasing as more and more competition enters the marketplace. So I'd recommend, if you guys were to upload a list that you were going to target, make sure that list has 20,000 or more homeowners so that you can get some decent pricing on your advertising that you're running and have a decent cost per market, which is your cost per 1,000 impressions. All right, so just keep that in mind. Next page, this is super straightforward. This is going to be where we're going to select our Facebook ad page, our Instagram page that we're going to use. If you don't have an Instagram page connected, you can say use the selected page. You're simply going to scroll down. You're going to select your media. So let me actually see if I still have that photo from, I'm going to use this photo from Kelly really fast. So let's just pretend like this was our map image. Actually, no, let's take this one step further. Let's actually go to Zillow, show you guys how I would do it. So from Zillow, we're going to look at is Seattle. Let's go ahead and look at homes for sale. And let's say this Seattle market is what we want to target on this. I don't want to save the search. Here we go. Go ahead and click that. That way we get the boundary. So you guys can see that the boundary has been created here around Seattle. And so it goes all the way up into Shoreline or Lake Forest Park up here. And it goes all the way down to White Center. So pretty large territory for Seattle. So what I'd recommend doing here is use your screenshot tool. And I don't know if my screenshot tool displays to you guys when I'm sharing my screen, but I'm going to go through it really quick. And so I just go ahead and I drag down until I have that 628 or right around there pixels. Then I go across until I get to the 1200. We're almost there. I don't know if you guys can even see what my screenshot right now. So then I make it so that we're right at the 1200 by 628.
There you go.
We can see it. It's cool.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
now.
So it is kind of difficult to get it perfect. So there's 628. There we go. 1200. Now that I've got my outline for 1200 by 628, I can move this around and make sure that I get exactly what I want. So I'm going to put that Seattle. I'm going to take I-5 right here, and I'm going to put that right about in the middle of this, because I-5 runs straight through Seattle. So now all I have to do is go ahead and save this image. I can save this to desktop, Now I'm going to go ahead and just create a new folder really quick. Image for ad. And we'll go ahead and plug this in here. Screenshot 2. Okay, now all I have to do in Ads Manager, click Add Media. From here, I'm going to go to Upload. I'm going to go up to my desktop. Now, I just added this image for ad test. I can grab that, and it's going to import this particular image into Facebook. It will have it pre-selected, but you do need to click Next. It's going to show you what this is going to look like on all of your different placements. And because we picked this image as the original image size, it fits in all of Facebook's placements the way that we want it to. So for your 1x1, that where it recommends for feeds and streams, makes the box so that's right there on Seattle, right where you want it to be. And then for your stories and reels apps, it's going to get the whole picture. And then search results and instant articles, it's going to show up just like this in the original ratio. So awesome stuff there. Now all we're going to do is go ahead and add in our primary text, right? So what we were running before was pretty straightforward. It's what's your home really worth? So we can plug that primary text in there. And then the next thing that we had was a simple headline. Click here for more info. And then under the description, we had recently sold homes have affected your home's price. Get your home's newest price instantly for free. Now, you guys, I'd recommend putting this to learn more. Learn more is much less invasive than sign up. And you'll have a lot more people click on a button that says learn more than you will on people that'll click on a button that says sign up. We've just statistically, it's always been a higher performer for us if we've had a less invasive call to action. And so learn more is what I'd recommend there. Next thing you guys want to make sure, so we aren't sending these folks to a form. We were sending them to a landing page. Oh, I created this as a lead gen. My bad, you guys. Let me actually go back one page. And let's say this is going to be lead gen to a website. Awesome. And conversion events, we just need to select lead. Okay, you guys. So if you're sending this to a landing page, you need to make sure that on page 2, I made a mistake here, only human. On page 2, you need to make sure that instead of sending them to instant forms, you're sending them to a website. That way you can actually gather their home address when you're running these type of ads. Now on the next page, you're simply just going to enter a URL down below. It's going to make me add all my primary text and images back in. So we'll go ahead and do that for you guys. Next, done. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this stuff back over. Primary text. And description. Learn more is still the call to action. And as we come down here, it's going to be the website that you're going to use. So https:// I'm just going to use Merlene, for example, but her leads to ROI. Merlene Merthil dot. All right. So then you go ahead and throw in your URL for where you're going to be sending that lead to once they go ahead and click on the link. And all you have to do now is click publish. Of course, you guys want to make sure that your pixel is set up and that your pixel is on and that you're tracking your events. But that's all you guys have to do. Click publish. That ad is going to go live within a couple of hours, and it's going to start sending those potential homeowners that are thinking about selling directly to your home valuation page so that they can view those. So pretty straightforward there. That's how to do it either in listings to leads or how to create this particular ad type in Facebook. And I don't think we have enough time to cover today sending those direct mailers out, but we have covered them in several trainings. We did it just in the last one as well. Covered some direct mail portions as well. But William, do you have anything to add to this?
No, I mean, I think you pretty much went over everything.
Try to be very thorough.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you covered all of it. So, anybody have any questions?
I just want to add that what really is working is the mailers. And even the lead who called me this afternoon, her first statement, she asked who I am, and I told her, she goes, well, somebody left that card in my in my mailbox. And I'm thinking, who would put my business card in somebody's mailbox? And it goes, well, the card said to call for a home valuation. I'm like, oh yeah, it's a postcard. Yes, I did send that to you. And then we start talking and she gave me a description of her house and she goes, I'm ready to sell. Can we meet tomorrow? And then that was the appointment.
Beautiful.
So the mailers are really working.
And so that's something that Bryan and I had actually talked about today was, we've also got the buyer pipeline and the seller pipeline, right? And so I think if you're up for it, we could make it so that those home valuations will automatically send off to Mailbox Power and trigger your direct mail campaign. Just like we have the FSBO mailer option and the expired mailer option, we could do the same thing with that. So the home valuation leads come in, automatically send over.
Goes right in there. That would be awesome because I'm doing the mailers with the FSBOs, and even the FSBOs are calling me too, but they're a little bit hard to sell. They just want to ask a lot of information and things like that. But so far, I've not won. Nothing is winning yet for me in the FSBOs. But they are calling though. They get the cards, so which is a good thing. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah. So do me a favor and book a time with me, and we can.
I have it for tomorrow.
Oh, see, we're already on top of it.
Yeah, I have it for tomorrow at 12.
I forgot I sent you over that.
Yeah, so we can discuss that tomorrow.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else have any other questions? Looks like Rebecca says, I have a question about mailing postcards, business postcards. What's your question? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, how are you guys?
Doing great.
Doing well. Yourself?
I'm okay. I'm relaxing, on a nice weather here in California.
Lucky. It's,
Rubbing it in.
I'm in Oregon. It's very great.
I have a question. As a new agent, I started 2 months ago. To be honest, I'm not feeling the vibe with my current team. I'm kind of leaning towards wanting to switch with a friend of mine that was in my team with Keller Williams here in Corona, California. And one of my questions is I've had like a lot of ideas. Like I've literally put one of my signs, in my mom's front lawn, to get a call back. If they're looking to buy a house, it's like pretty simple and it's in Spanish because I am a Spanish speaker too. And there's a lot of Latinos, that need help with, the home buying process. So
Absolutely.
For me, it's like important to know as a new agent, how can I put myself out there so people know that I'm a new agent in the area? So I was thinking about like mailing out. First, I was thinking about like door flyers or door knocking, doing that on the weekend or something. But then like the other, I forgot her name. The other day that was just with you, she was mentioning about the postcards. So what can I do? What would you guys suggest as a new agent? What would I do in order to mail those out? Because I know the USPSC or mail system here mails them out for you for a price, but I'm not sure how to, what do I put? Do I just introduce myself on the postcard or on a flyer?
Yeah.
Does that
So
make sense?
One of the things that we recommend, we have a platform that we don't have, but we recommend a platform called Mailbox Power. And Mailbox Power has a lot of agents that are kind of collaborating and working together. Most of them are from EXP, but there's some from other brokerages as well. And they have different postcard campaigns that you can just click a button and load it into your account. William, do you want to kind of give a little walkthrough on that so you can give Rebecca a hand?
Sure.
I know you know that system like the back of your hand.
Indeed, I do. Okay, so Mailbox Power is pretty much one of the most advanced direct mail options that it's a mixture between personalization and
Automation.
automation. Yeah, it makes it so you can just click and let everything go, right? They send out the mailers for you. They print the mailers, they send them, everything's all automated. But you can also go in and make extremely personalized cards if you want. So it's very nice in that sense. Now, Kelly Wheeler worked with their design team to make it so that there are different number of automated campaigns for the real estate niche. So right now there is an expired GeoFarm campaign. There is a buyer GeoFarm campaign so that you can, get people who are renting with, X number credit score, making X number of money per year, etc. The renter campaign is amazing. Then they've got FSBO campaign and then the seller GeoFarm campaign. So in here, they have an amazing option for mail lists so that you can actually go in and pull your own custom list. But let's go in and look at the actual campaigns themselves. So let's see. Looks like, let me switch to a different account here.
And when mailing them out, like what size do you guys recommend, to get the owner's attention?
So there's two different options here.
There's more than two, but two primary.
There's more than
4x6.
Yeah, 4x6
Okay.
and 5.5 by 8.5. The 5.5 by 8.5s are really nice because they are gonna stick out and they're going to be much larger than the normal pieces of mail that you would get, from any normal letter. So that is nice. But it does come at a cost, right? So there's a pro account with Mailbox Power that is $49 a month. And that account gives you unlimited 4x6 postcards. You just have to pay postage, which is 40 cents a piece. So if you think about that, you could send out to 100 people and it cost you $40. Okay.
Okay.
So, the 4x6s do give you the ability to kind of save some budget. Now, it depends on what type of campaign you're doing, right? So in Mailbox Power, they have the seller GeoFarm campaign, which is meant for listings. And, here's one of the cards for the seller GeoFarm. You would essentially replace this image with an image from a home in your area so that it looks like your market. Then we've got the same thing here. The housing market is on fire. You can see there's custom values that are loaded in here. So it actually puts the person's first name in the card.
And yours is the returns for first name.
And yours as well on the back of the card. There's a lot more information as well. So the 5.5 by 8.5s, if you're on the pro account, which is $49 a month, they are, I believe, so it's 19 cents per card plus 56 cents for shipping. Okay, so the way that the last time I did my math, it was if you send out to around 250 people, it's going to cost about $150 a month, I think is when I last checked, because I was looking
That's including cards and postage.
Yes, correct, including cards and postage. So I did that stat because I wanted to check and see if it was worth it to do the upgrade to the executive account that's $150 a month. So I thought, what would that cost be? How many cards would you need to send every month in order to reach that $150, right? Because at the executive account, you get unlimited 5.5 by 8.5s. So it's all on, what type of amount do you want to send out and what type of campaigns you want to send, basically is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that information, because if you don't if you don't, get guidance from someone that does have experience, it's like hard for someone that's just starting out. Like I'm
Yeah.
graduating this month from college with my associates in real estate, but it's so different reading a book than actually doing it in reality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think you're going to throw a lot of that book work out the window once you get in the field.
Probably.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Wait,
guys.
they didn't teach
Have a
me how to
good day.
talk to people. What's going on? That's the most important part of my job.
It is.
No, if so, for example, if you're trying to farm a neighborhood, let's say, and you just want to send out a card that introduces yourself, you
Mhm.
could send out one card and send it out to 500 people in a 4x6, and it would cost you not much at all, right? So
4x6s don't have
Yeah.
a cost.
4x6
Yeah,
is
I'm trying to just do it in my zip code first and go from there.
yeah.
if
There
that
you
makes
go.
sense, yeah.
So let's see, 500 times 40 cents is $200. So for $200 plus the $49 for the pro account, you could send out to 500 people one card,
Oh, that's great.
right?
That's
And
not bad at all.
The big thing with mailers is consistency.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Consistently
once
stay in front of that audience.
Yep, exactly. So if you sent out a card once a month, you know that your cost would be $250 a month to consistently send out those cards. And that would also mean you'd have a month to be able to build your next card. Right.
Okay.
So on top of that, there's also a lot of different, let's see, where do I go? Design catalog. And then we go real estate. So there's also a ton of cards in here that are just real estate focused, that you could come in here and find. See, it's the time to sell is now. Some of these aren't, the greatest, but there are also some that are good. So you can search through here. Here you go, right here. Here's a perfect one. Hi, neighbor. As your local real estate agent, I am ready to help you with your house selling and buying needs. Call me today. Right. So there's for $6.43, you would be able to get both design sizes, which
We
is
we can custom make it too, right? Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah, absolutely.
lettering.
absolutely,
Okay.
you can everything on the card. That's the beauty of it.
Oh, it is. That way I can also put under there, that I speak Spanish, but in Spanish words.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. So
Okay, that's great.
a lot of options. And in the chat, we did put the link in there if you do want to do that. And feel free to jump on our live trainings anytime you want.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a blessed day.
Very welcome.
Absolutely. Do
Thank
we have
you,
any
everyone.
other questions today? Hey, Arthur, you got any questions for us? I don't think I've seen you on before.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on.
Hi guys. No, not right now. I don't have any. Good to be on.
Well, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
What'd you think of the content today, Arthur?
Chock full of a lot of info. That's how to like really pump out your ads and so forth. Because I think a lot of times when people are pushing them out, they're kind of like doing it like blindly. And so to kind of like really like give us like some great pointers and tips on which particular way to shoot them out and to promote them is awesome.
Thank you. That's the goal of these. We want to empower you guys and give you as much ammunition as possible so you can go and take your markets by storm. So with that being said, we are going to sign off for the day, you guys. We've gone a little bit over today's hour. Sometimes we go 2 hours on these, but we will be back on Thursday. And on Thursday, we're going to be covering some canceled and expired and withdrawn strategies so that you guys can win more listings. And we're going to keep on the focus of winning listings for you guys for the next couple of weeks, so that we can get you guys just a ton of content. We see that there's going to be some shifts in the market, especially with interest rates going through the roof. We just outpriced a ton of our buyers that were pre-approved to buy 400,000 or 500,000. Now they're looking at 100,000 less in what they can actually afford, and the inventory just isn't there. So we're going to keep this focus going towards helping you guys learn how to win and cultivate listings, because that's going to be the lifeblood of your guys' business going forward, and ours, making sure that we can get you guys everything that you need to go and close down that business. So I will see you guys on Thursday, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and we'll be covering some more strategies to help you all win some listings and close more business. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Thank you, Bryan, for the ad.
Thanks, brother. You're the best.
Yeah. See you tomorrow, William.
Yeah.